Hi. Okay, this is the last part of this Patriarchy is Not Working. Part 8. This will be the last one of this series, and someday I will put this on a playlist, I think, just for ease. And I hope that it will help someone, and also a record for my children. I just feel this is important. I'm in my 60s. I'll tell you, when you just never know when your day's up. So I love all my children. I do want them to know too. Their fathers were always the more powerful ones. But really, I kept getting involved with the exact same person, just different portrayals and styles of that exact same type of person. So, a lot of women go through this. They wonder, oh, how could I fall for this again? Well, of course you did. There's, I think, 3 parts to this. The first part is you really do need to get some therapy, so you understand maybe some traumas that have happened to you and how they have affected you, and even go in, if you have a really good therapist, and go in and even change them. I went through a EMDR type of therapy, and I found that very helpful. It was very, very hard work. Sometimes I really didn't even want to go, because it was such hard work to have to go back into that. I think I basically hid it from myself all my life. There was just this darkness. I just really couldn't deal with it. Until, I guess, my late 50s. Unfortunately, I think a lot of people, if I would have gotten therapy sooner, I think, yes, it would have changed. So, just things from childhood. There's so much especially from our European. I don't know. God, it's just a madness in our species. Just awful things that happen to people. And you keep living through it, and you develop patterns where we are organic computers. We are alive, but really our minds are just like a computer. So women who have fallen for it again, over again. I have a friend, excuse me, she's even a little older than I am, realizing she fell for it again. It's almost devastating, especially when you get older, because it's really hard to change course. Opportunities, and your energy level is so different. So this is why I'm doing it. Record for my children. My life. I don't want to go all into it, but the first marriage was the bad boy. Getting kicked out of schools and ending up going to school where I went to, and my parents really didn't want me. I was living with my father and his go-go wife, young woman. She told me years later she just hated it when I came to live with them. So that was nice to know. But still, the blinders were not off, and I think they were really happy to see me go. Let's put it that way. And that was really the end of a lot of things in my life. That's when I really did not recover. He got help, like from my mother, for learning printing. His first job in printing at Sir Speedy. And of course he was cheating on me when I was 7 months pregnant. And but yeah, I was supposed to make all these changes and everything. I don't know. It's just, God, the things that we are raised with, and the trips, if I may use the word trips, that people have put on us. That's why you need to go to therapy, because those trips those other people have put on you for their own selfish reasons aren't true. And that's number one. The next is you got to do your own reading too. I mean, my therapist actually gave me this book to read, and let me put it up there so you see it in case this is the first one you're watching. To read, and you know what? When I read it, I got so mad. Oh man, I got mad. I recognized things that were going on with me at the time that I was internalizing. That I'm just crazy. There's something wrong with me. I am really sick of that story. I am not crazy. The only thing that's wrong with me is that it hurts when someone does something mean and cruel, and for power and control over you, not for love. They do not have your well-being in mind whatsoever. It is all about them. So that's the other component. And then also, just really learning to love yourself. And that's the other component. And you do learn to do that. I think a lot of people, the narcissistic people, they love themselves too much. And I know supposedly the pathological narcissist is supposed to have trauma and that kind in their lifetime. I really wonder about that. I sometimes wonder if they just aren't really raised entitled and privileged, and never taught empathy, never given any kind of consequences. It's already someone else's fault, or they can do no wrong. But I do understand that there can be some trauma in there. So, all right, well, we're going to finish up here with the terrorist, and I'm kind of happy to be done with this. I felt it was important to do. As I said, I just married the same person in different people. I just never could have recognized what was going on with me. I think Suzanne Summers, she has a few videos out where she goes through how she got therapy at a very young age, as a young woman, and that's, boy, I'll tell you, if they can just get to them when they're young, it can really shift and change their whole life. So you don't spend a whole lifetime of just going through the same crap. And it really, it's crap. So, yeah, it really is. And I want my daughters to also know who I am. I am not the one who's powerful in a material way or have money, or I think it could have been very different. I think it's very important for women from here on out to get those educations, have their own power, have their own money. I guess narcissism is on the way up. They've done studies, and it'll be on the way up for both men and women. Well, I don't know what to say, but at least it will be a more equal spreading of power. So people are going to have to deal with their own selfishness. You either love yourself too much, that's narcissistic. On the other side is more of a codependent type of thing, and you don't love yourself enough. You were never taught to love yourself enough. It was always about other people. You must include yourself in the equation, and make sure in your relationships that you are included in the equation and people are being honest with you. They're not tricking you. So these men are tricky, and I am saying men because for the most part, that's really, as I said, you've got to really get some knowledge and read some, and I really do think Leonard Slane has it absolutely correct with our species. That the men are, watch out. They can hurt you. It is a lot easier for them. So, watch out. Okay, let's get to the terrorist. And, yeah, I'm going to put these glasses on. The others only go up to 2.75. These are 3.0. Hopefully I can see better. I know where there was one word that was piranha. I couldn't quite see it, so I hope I can see better. It's just dark. We're just about coming to the darkest, God, I'm already at 8, almost 9 minutes, the darkest day of the year. So, okay, the terrorist. I worked for a few years with an abused woman named Gloria, who was wondering how much longer she would be alive. Her husband Gerald would glare at her, drum his fingers methodically on the table, and say, "You have 6 months left." Hot. Things better shape up around here. 6 months. Her head would swim, and her heart would race with fear, and she would plead with him to tell what exactly he planned to do to her at the end of that period. And he would answer with maybe just a hint of a cold smile. "Just wait and see. Just wait and see." 6 months, Gloria. Gerald had never laid a hand on Gloria in the 5 years they had been together. But he had threatened her. Yeah, it's awful to be threatened. I'm tired of the threat thing, and you know, yeah, this is not love. Okay. Gloria, Gerald had never laid a hand on Gloria in the 5 years that they had been together, but she was terrified. She started working with me on making an escape plan to run away with their 2-year-old son. The terrorist tends to be both highly controlling and extremely demanding. His worst aspect, however, is that he frequently reminds his partner that he could physically rip her to pieces or even kill her. He doesn't necessarily beat her. However, some abusers know how to terrorize their partners with threats, strange, veiled statements, and bizarre behaviors. One of my violent clients cut an article out of the newspaper about a woman who had been murdered by her husband, and he taped it up on the refrigerator. Another man responded to his partner's announcement that she was leaving him by spilling the blood of an animal in front of the house. Gross. Another client would take out his gun when he was angry at his partner, but would insist that he was just going to clean it, and that it had nothing to do with her. Unlike most other abusers, the terrorist often seems to be sadistic. He gets enjoyment out of causing pain and fear, and seems to find cruelty thrilling. That almost sounds psychopathic. He is likely to have been severely abused as a child, which generally is not true of other abusers. However, you cannot help him to heal. This may be difficult to accept, since the hope of helping him overcome his problems may be what gets you through the terror of living with him. The terrorist's problems are much too deep for a partner to solve, as they involve a complex weave of serious psychological problems with the typical destructive nature of an abuser. I mean, I know there are many people that want to agree with me, and it's not popular thought, but especially abusing a male. What do you think they're going to grow up and do? Okay. You need to focus instead on getting yourself safe. The terrorist's top goal is to paralyze you with fear so that you won't dare think of leaving him or cheating on him. The great majority of abusers who make lethal threats against their partners never carry them out. But that still leaves many who do, and they do. Look at God. Domestic violence is really still very terrible in this country, and think about the ones that actually do get away with murder. Okay, the trauma of living with this kind of terror can be profound and can make it extremely difficult for you to think clearly about strategies for escaping to safety. However, most women do manage to get out. The critical first step is to seek confidential help as soon as possible. Begin by calling an abuse hotline as soon as you safely can. There are more suggestions in Chapter 9. When a woman does leave the terrorist, he may stalk or threaten her, and this dangerous harassment can continue for a long time. If the couple has children, he may attempt to get custody or unsupervised visitation so that he can terrorize or control her through the children. It's not about love. It is truly about power and control. Such as, he also may use information he has about her, such as where she works or where her parents live, to track her and to threaten her loved ones. It is essential that friends, relatives, courts, and communities understand the realities of these risks and give the woman the most complete support and protection possible, which simultaneously take steps to hold the abuser accountable. It may be possible to stop the terrorist from escalating to murder, but only if he gets a strong message that stalking and threatening an ex-partner is unacceptable, that he is responsible for his own actions, and that the community is prepared to jail him if his threatening behavior does not stop immediately. Actions short of these are often insignificant. Chapter 10 contains more information for a woman who is involved in a custody or visitation battle with an abuser, or for those who are concerned that one may start. So, yeah, I think it's really important that, as I said in my previous video, I think I got some really poor advice. It was a friend who, referred me to this attorney. But someone threatening to end your life, that is not acceptable. And no one should have to live like that. The central attitudes driving the terrorists are: you have no right to defy me or leave me. Your life is in my hands. Women are evil and have to be kept terrorized to prevent that evil from coming forth. I would rather die than accept your right to independence. The children are one of the best tools I can use to make you fearful. Seeing you terrified is exciting and satisfying. So, wow. And then he goes on to the mentally ill or addicted abuser. And I think, what are we at? 16 minutes. I don't think I'll go through that. Narcissism is really big. I think when he wrote this book, it's not such a big thing as it is today. And, even if someone isn't a narcissistic disorder, there's plenty that moves right up to that as especially destructive. And like he says in this book, a lot of them do not have mental illness or addiction problems. So, okay, let's just go through the one. Those who suffer from narcissistic personality disorder have a highly distorted self-image. They are unable to accept that they might have faults and therefore are unable to imagine how other people perceive them. This condition is highly compatible with abusiveness, though it is present in only a small amount of abusive men. Clues to the presence of this disorder include: A, your partner's self-centeredness is severe, and it carries over into situations that don't involve you. B, he seems to relate everything back to himself. And C, he is outraged whenever anyone criticizes him and is incapable of considering that he could ever be anything other than kind and generous. I understand that one. This disorder is highly resistant to therapy, as most of these narcissistic spectrum personalities are. This disorder is highly resistant to therapy and is not treatable with medication. The abuser with this disorder is not able to change substantially through an abuser program either, although he sometimes makes some minor improvements. So they're just not going to be people that are going to change. Now, if someone has enough motivation and they're not don't have a personality disorder, possibly there's some help. Many abusers who are not mentally ill want women to think that they are, in order to avoid responsibility for their attitudes and behaviors. So there you go. I just thought this was important to go through this. It's a very good book, and I felt it was important to go through the different personalities because I think it is very common for women to step back into unbalanced relationships. And I'll tell you, that's the first thing that's going to happen in a relationship if it's unequal. I would recommend for everybody that before they get married at any stage, they sit down and they write out a contract, just like a business contract, about their marriage and how they're going to treat each other and what they're going to do with bills, how they're going to, are they going to keep things separate, what's going to go on there, and when things come up, how they're going to deal with that, and have it all in writing. I really do think it's a good idea for people to have prenuptials. And that's when you're really going to find out, sign your name there and put a notary on there. If this person doesn't keep his word to you And if he doesn't want to do something like that, you might want to consider that you may be with a trickster. And they're going to devastate your life. They are very good at what they do. And I do think women are more vulnerable. We are the ones who have children. We have estrogen instead of testosterone. We have higher voices, you notice. We're more nurturing. Even when we're messed up, we're more nurturing. We have a more loving quality to us by nature. You know, it seems to be just the way we were made, and I think there's a reason for that. So I think, and we're smaller. You know, one of the things I can't stand to watch, vets can't watch battle movies, a lot of them. They can't watch them. I can't watch movies that have domestic violence in them or a woman getting beat up. I just can't cope with it. And because they show all these women in the movies these days as that they're punching it out with men, it is so unrealistic. Anyone who has been in a domestic violence, physical domestic violence, knows who's going to win. It's not even a fair fight at all. It truly is not. So the man is stronger. So anyway, this is the end of this series. I wanted to get it done, and I wanted to get it done for my children. And I'll probably go on now to other topics. You know, I really seemed to really be affected a bit by the Chris Watts thing. I watched a lot of stuff on it. You know, that man, I think he just, wow. You know, that's another thing. If you think your partner is cheating on you, it may really be making you in an unsafe situation. You might want to put a private investigator on there and find out for sure, because who knows, maybe they just want to get rid of you. So there's no problems. There's no child support. There's no responsibility. They can just go on with their new life with a mistress or a new person. I mean, I don't know. I'll tell you, it's really, women are very vulnerable. I think a lot more so. Not that men aren't too, but women really are. And that it might be a good idea that you find out for sure, as much as it would hurt. You know, if they're seeing somebody, that may really put your life in jeopardy. So anyway, all right, this patriarchy is not working. It isn't. It's an old system that's been coming down for centuries, thousands of years, and it's very selfish energy. It's not the divine masculine, let's put it that way. It's very selfish, knowing it is not. A very arrogant, egotistical type of energy, and it's changing. And if it doesn't change, I actually think it's the Native Americans had it right. You know, when you abuse women, everybody will pay. I think that's what's happening to us. The whole world's going under. Mother Earth is being abused. Women are being abused. There's no respect there. It'll take us out. You know, something will happen, and it's a new age. It's over. So we have a lot of problems in our environment, and we need to be fixed. So anyway, love to all, and I'll see you on the inner and feel you in my heart.